When you want to edit a PDF from Google Classroom within DocHub, you're going to go ahead and click on the PDF. And up top, you will notice the menu that says Open With. And you're going to want to go ahead and select DocHub. Now, the first time you do this, it might be asking you to link your account. So you can go ahead and do that. And when you do that, you'll notice that it opens it up in what looks to be very similar to like a Google Doc style menu. And across the top, we have our toolbar here. And there's a few different tools that you're going to want to use. Right now, we've got the pointer tool, which just allows us to move around. It allows us to select text. It allows us to do a few different things. But there's going to be two tools in particular that you will find super useful. The first one is going to be the text tool. Now, you can click the letter A up here, or you could just hit T on your keyboard, and that would allow you to type a text box pretty much anywhere on the document or even along the edges of the document. So let's say I wanted to annotate this text. And it says, what are some of your favorite foods? Do you like pizza, rice and beans, samosas, or corn on the cob? And I want to annotate this, and I'll say, yes, all of it, right? Because I do enjoy all of those foods. Now, when I've done that, I've got my text box here, and I could later, if I needed to move that text box or if I wanted to make changes to it, there's a couple of things we can do. I can click on it again, and it gives me this move option, so I can click and drag it around. Or maybe I want to highlight my text and I want to make it a little bit smaller. Maybe I want to make it bold, and maybe I want to change the color. All of those are things that I can do up top in the text edit menu. And now, let's say I want to edit or add some additional text. Notice it keeps those same settings. So I could just go ahead and click here and type more text. And there we go. And when I'm done typing, I can click away. And the second tool you will find useful is the highlight tool, which you will find right here. Now notice there's a couple of different options. If you click the arrow drop down, two of them are locked, but you just want to make sure you have that highlighter selected, or you could hit H on your keyboard for highlight. And then let's say I wanted to highlight. It says culture is a set of beliefs, behaviors, and traits shared by a group of people. So I can just click and drag, and it will then highlight that text for me. Maybe I wanted to highlight it in a different color. I've got some predefined colors here. Let's say I want to highlight in blue. I changed my color, and here we are again, clicking and highlighting on the text. Now, those are the two main basic features you're going to want to use, the text tool by starting with the T, or the highlight tool starting with the H, but you've also got a couple of other tools hanging out in this menu up here. You could draw an arrow, so you could click and drag and point your arrows and create different arrows, again, changing the colors. That's all available. You've got different shapes you could do. You could even draw freehand if you felt so compelled. Now, here's the key thing. With all of these edits and highlights, one thing that you need to make sure of, in the upper left-hand corner, we see that it is saved, which is super good, super helpful, super important. But one thing that we will notice is that this is saved in DocHub. This is not saved in Google Drive, which could be a big problem if you wanted to submit your assignment. And so what you're always going to want to do when you're done highlighting your document, when you're done highlighting and adding and annotating, you're going to come over here in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to click the drop-down menu, and you're going to want to click download or export. You could also click the download or export button right here. There's two options to get there. And when you get there, don't be tempted to send it to Google Classroom, because that will just put a link, and that's not what you want. You want to make sure this moves into Google Classroom. And so into Google Drive. And so you click Google Drive, and it will give you some options here. You could change the file name if you wanted to, which might not be a bad idea to change that file name, but make sure it's something that you will recognize. And so I just added the phrase annotated in front of mine, because now I know that this is the annotated version. And then I just go ahead and click export to Drive. It will do its thing. It says it's saving to Google Drive, and then boom, it's in Drive. And if you don't believe it, prove it. Click the Show in Drive button, and now we can open up this document within Google Drive, and we can see my text along the margins. We can see my arrows, my annotations, my highlights, all of that stuff. So there you go. That is a quick overview of how you use DocHub to annotate text, to highlight, to mark it all up on a PDF. Play around, have some fun, because there's a lot of options up here. You really can't screw up too bad. You can always hit the undo button or the Control Z button. That's always your friend. Best of luck. Talk to you later.